I'm Tina Cherry, and today we're going to create a decorative mask, not a wet mask you would wear, but a decorative mask that's inspired by the art pieces here at the museum. I have an example of one I created as just as an example. You can use the materials, any materials you have on hand to create art with. You can use markers, colored pencils, Sharpie. If you like things to be measured, you need a ruler, glue, pencil, scissors, eraser. We're using pastels today. In the example, I used some found materials such as cardboard with all the boxes we're getting right now. I had lots of cardboard, some scrapbook paper that had earthy tones to it. So just anything that fits in with your mask as you would like it to be portrayed. For today's lesson, we're going to use the pastels and Sharpie, glue, and scissors. So we'll start with our face shape. And for this one, it's going to be kind of a triangular shaped face. In your lessons, you have some different face shapes, different lip shapes, different mouth shapes, different eye shapes for you to be able to pick and choose what you would like. When you're doing a face, you need to remember the location of where the features of the face go. For example, the eyes are about halfway down the middle of the shape, and then the nose is about halfway between the eye shape and the chin shape, and then the lips are halfway between the tip of the nose and the chin. So if you'll keep that in mind as you're putting your features on it, it'll make it look more like it's supposed to. All right, so I'm gonna start with my face shape. Again, I did just a triangular shaped face because the mask that inspired me was this one. So I'm gonna take my pencil and I'm gonna create a feather mark just on some heavy paper. And I'm gonna create that kind of triangular big shape. I'm going to take my pastels. I'm going to add my color in to the whole shape. And I chose earth tones because the inspirational piece was an African piece, and I think of earth tones when I think of Africa. Then I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to smudge that pastel. It's okay if it has some lines in it because that just gives it the illusion of being a wood grain, which I like. Okay. I'm nice and happy with that. So I'm going to set this to the side. I want to make sure I clean my hand off. I just have an extra piece of paper here. I'm going to clean my hand off because I don't want those smudges on things I don't want it on. All right, I'm going to take another piece of paper, and this is the paper you're getting. I'm going to make me a fold about a quarter of a way from the edge. When I have two features like two eyebrows, two eyes, the cheekbones, the two ears, if I want those symmetrical, I'm going to cut them out at the same time. By creating a fold, I'll have pieces that are similar in size and similar in shape. The nose I also fold in half like you're cutting out a heart. That way it was similar on both sides. The mouth, the same thing. So every facial feature that's on here, I folded and then I cut along the fold. You don't want to cut along the flap. If you cut along the flap, you'll end up with pieces that aren't symmetrical. So I'm going to start with the eye. So I'm going to sketch the eye shape, which is an almond shape, right along the edge of that fold. Then I'm going to cut both pieces at the same time. So now I have two eyes. I'm going to take my sheet of protective paper, lay my eyes on there. I'm going to use a black Sharpie. I'm going to outline the eyes. This is going to make them stand out a little bit better. And you want to make sure you protect your surface you're working on. Same thing, the other eye. And for the mask, I did not add the iris, the colored part of the eye. I simply did a black metal with a little bit of a glimmer spot, the shiny spot that's in your eye, to make it look a little more realistic. And color that in. For both of them. Gives me my two eyes. Set those to the side. I'm going to take my folded piece of paper and I'm going to sketch eyebrows. You have to think about the facial features. You would see eyebrows, eyes, nose, sometimes cheeks, mouth. The statue had very prominent cheekbones, so I included cheekbones in mine. Next, I'm going to do the eyebrows. Needs to be slightly bigger than the eye, slightly longer than the eye. Again, I drew it on the fold, so when I cut it in half, I have two pieces that are similar in size and shape. Put that to the side. Unfold it. That to the side, unfold it. I'm going to cut it along the folded line, protect my surface, and I'm going to add my pastel for the color. And if I have some pencil lines under there, that's okay, the pastel will color it. Strong eyebrows. Next, I'm going to go ahead and do my mouth along the edge. I'm going to draw half the mouth. Like I was cutting out a heart. It's not a heart shape, but it's the same as if you were cutting out a paper heart, cutting along the fold, not the open flap. unfold that, I have a complete mouth, a top lip, and a bottom lip. I'm going to add my color, again with my pastel. Smudge with my finger. Then I'm going to separate the top lip from the bottom lip by cutting it in half. The next part I'm going to do is the nose. So again, using my same piece of paper, I'm going to sketch out half of a nose shape. And cut that out. I keep cutting along that fold. That way I have one piece instead of two pieces. Open that up. On my protected surface, I'm going to add my color with my pastel. I'm smudging that color in. If I need more color, I'm adding more color. The last thing I'm going to do that's on the front of the face are the cheekbones. They're kind of like a crescent, like a crescent moon. Again, I'm going along my fold. And cheekbones would be optional. If you don't want to add the cheekbones, you flat don't have to add the cheekbones. The original sculpture has very prominent cheekbones, so for our purposes, I'm going to add them. With a lighter color, which also kind of makes it look like facial paint, like a lot of masks have facial paint on them. And these are all earthy tones. If you chose to do other colors, of course you could. But again, the inspiration piece was an African mask, so I kept it in the earthy tones, which are browns, yellows, oranges, reds. I'm going to draw the part of the ear you would see. Draw it along the fold. Then when I cut it out, and cut it in half, I'll have two ears. And the color. I want the ears to be as close in color as I can to the face, the background of the face. Keep in mind the same color. Now I'm going to put my facial features together. Again, I have this extra line right here that I don't want, but it's okay. When I cut it out, I'll cut that piece off. All right, I'm going to look at my face shape about halfway down the face shape. That's where I'm going to place my eyes. Pastels don't particularly like glue, so you're going to have to use a pretty heavy hand with your glue to get it to adhere. look at it, place it about halfway down. Go ahead and add my eyebrows. I want the eyebrow closer to the eye than to the top of the head. You'll look surprised if you put them closer to the top of the head. Add my nose between the bottom of the eye and the bottom of the chin. That's where I'm going to try to center my nose. Next, I'm going to do the mouth, about halfway between the tip of the nose and the chin. It's going to be the center of the mouth. I'm adding the ears. You can also do things like use scrap paper to make accessories like earrings, or if you have found objects like yarn or things like that, you can add hair. Next, I'm going to add the cheekbones if I choose to add those. If you have colorful fabric, you could add clothing pieces if you wanted, but those are all optional. Again, I'm having to use a pretty good bit of glue because the pastels don't particularly like glue. So I'm going to pull up. I'm going to very carefully cut it out. Again, this is a decorative mask, meaning it's one for looking at, not one for wearing. Carefully turn my paper, not my scissors, as much as possible. I'm going to make sure I trim off that line I didn't want. And it's complete. Now at this point, if I want to add other things, I can. If I want to put it on a background, I can. If I want to do other colors, not earth tone colors, I certainly can. If you want to use model magic is a great thing to form mask out of. Just make sure, remember when you're thinking about your features, that it's very easy if you're cutting something out that there's two of, it's easier to fold it and cut them out at the same time. That'll give you a little bit better shape.